Hi everyone, I want to talk about your isometric drawing assignment. So a few things before you get started here. You're not going to want to zoom in too much or zoom out too much. It's going to change the size of your text when you try and add your different text that you're going to have to add on, like on the side here with your tank support and your fuel gauge up top. You're not going to want to zoom in too much. You can see right now in this drawing right here, the viewport in my properties here is like 3,000 or 3,114. So this means that is huge. I drew that really big in that example. This one right now that I'm working on, let's go back over here to model space. Not too big. Like this line, for example, right there. You can see the length of that line is only 20 inches. So we want to keep it in somewhat of perspective, so not ginormous, but just to help us out with drawing. So make sure that we're not getting too large when you start drawing this assignment. If you do, it's okay. It's not too hard to fix, but it'll just take some extra work. Now let's talk about our hotkeys. So for this assignment here, you're going to have to be switching back and forth. You can see down here you have your isometric drafting. You're going to want this turned on down here. So isometric drafting turned on. And then I'm going to press F shift and then the FN key. And it should lock your FN keys. So for example here, I have my FN keys locked now. And if I press F5, let me lock it. If I press F5, shift FN, F5, you can see switches back and forth there. Okay, that's what you want to switch. You can see down here, command, isoplane right, isoplane left, isoplane top. It's just switching back and forth between those different planes. This makes it really easy as you start drawing this shape here. Drawing the entire drawing, you're going to want to switch back and forth. Then also F3. F3 will toggle on and off your object snaps. Okay, F3 toggles on and off the object snaps. You're going to want to do that throughout the drawing. You also want to keep your ortho mode on for most of this drawing too. When I draw the fuel gauge up here in a second, you probably will not want to keep that ortho mode on. Okay, I'm going to escape. I'm going to start here. Most of you should be able to figure this out, how to draw this, watching some of the other videos, and I should have another video posted here shortly on how to draw basically the entire drawing. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my line tool, L for line, and I want to specify my first point. I'm going to turn on, again, I'm going to turn on the ortho mode, so F3. And I want to find the center point, and I'm going to draw a line straight up. I want to switch F5. I want to switch to my different plane right here. I'm going to draw straight up, and then I'm going to draw straight across. So I want to find the center point here for where I'm going to put the top of my fuel gauge. So again, here, if we're looking at our drawing, our fuel gauge will look something like this here. And we'll zoom in on this so we can see this here. This is kind of what our fuel gauge looks like. So I want to draw this circle here first, then this line, and then I'm going to draw one of these ellipses here, and then move it over, and then I got to draw that center ellipse here, and then my little dashes, and then we'll add text onto it too. Okay, so back here on AutoCAD, I've drawn these two lines. I want to trim this out just to get rid of this here, and this. And then ellipse going across here. And I'm going to turn on my nearest. And I want to draw an ellipse somewhere. Oh, I want to draw an isometric ellipse. Make sure you put I for isometric. And F5 to switch. And it's going to be probably about that size. So zoom out, it looks good. And then L for line, I want to draw a line straight up. And then F5 to switch it up. And I'll put that line right about there. And then ellipse again. This time isometric again. And make my ellipse something probably about, I'm going to move it higher in a second, so probably right there. Then I'm going to do M for move. I'm going to move it up. Move it up to right there, that top. And then I'm going to CO for copy. I want to copy this here, and F5, and I want to copy it, make sure I'm staying on that plane there. I'm going to turn off my F3, my snaps, and something about there. That looks good. And then I'm going to draw a line, L for line. I'm going to turn on my snaps again, and going out to there, that quadrant, to this quadrant right there. And then make sure I'm going to turn off my nearest for right now. And then I'm going to trim this out. And I'm going to trim that. I want to trim that little bit and trim that bit. And then you can notice here this is a little bit off. I'm going to try and center this up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select just that top of the fuel gauge here and make sure I get that line too. M for move. And I want to move this just over like that. Just a little bit like that. And I can trim this out too. That looks a little bit better. Okay, now if we look back at our drawing right here, we can see I got to draw another ellipse here in the center and then these little tick marks. And then we're going to add text onto it too. So coming back over to my drawing, what I can do here is another ellipse. And I want to do it right there, F5, F5. I'm going to turn off F3 so it's not snapping to anywhere, and something like that. Okay, then to draw my tick marks. This is, some of you might find this difficult. This is probably one of the easiest things because it's basically freehand drawing it. So I'm going to turn off my ortho mode on here, and I'm going to turn off my snaps, and I'm literally just going to start drawing some lines. So I'm going to draw it from, if we look at our drawing, I want one from here. I need 8 going around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in total. So what I'm going to do is draw this here. So I have my line tool turned on, and roughly right around there, come out down here, hit the space bar, again. Here's me a second one, coming right there. My third one, something about like this here, it's right there. And fourth one here, something like that. Fifth one. And again, I don't have my snaps turned on, and I have my ortho mode off here. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll just put 8 right here. And I could space those out better if I wanted to, but that's kind of what that's going to look like. And then I'm going to do another ellipse here in the center. Whoop. Ellipse in the center, and then I for circle, and something about there. Boom. Then I'm going to draw a line from there to, and this line is going to come roughly right around here somewhere. And then I'm going to draw out a little triangle on here. I'm going to turn on my snaps real fast to help me out. Draw a little triangle out. I'm going to trim that out, trim that, trim that. And then I'm going to fill this in. If you remember, this is the hatch. And fill this in and make sure I'm doing a solid hatch on here. Boom, boom, and something like that. So now if I zoom way out here, there I have my fuel gauge. And now I need to trim or delete this line too. Okay, so once you got that done, we're going to add some text on here. To add text, what you want to do, coming up to our text feature, text up here, I'm going to do a single line text on here. And it says specify first point of my text. I'm going to click here, and I want to make sure my ortho mode is back on. And I want to do this here, my tank support first, so F5 to switch that. And draw it like that. And this is capitalize and tank support. Notice here it's going to be pretty small, I imagine. And once you press escape there, mine's really small. So make sure you can see it there. I'm going to change my style to standard because I like that a little bit better. And then I'm going to change my height of my text for this assignment. You can see it's 0.18 inches. I'm going to change it to 1.5 inches, 1.5. And then oblique angle, you're going to be going between -30 and 30 on this assignment. And this one here, I believe, is going to be -30. -30. I'm going to turn off my snaps. So F3 goes off here. And I want to move this up to here, and I'm going to turn off my ortho mode real fast here too. So I can move that right into the center right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And the cool thing is you can copy this throughout your drawing. So once you have it done, you don't need to redo it. You just need to change the text. So then I'm going to do text here, single line text, specify my first point here. I'm going to make sure my ortho mode is on for here. I want to do F5 to switch over. And this here, this is going to be your fuel gauge. I think G-A-U-G-E, correct, G-A-S. Fuel gauge, click to the side, press escape. And same idea here. I'm going to change this to standard for this here. I'm going to change it to 1.5. And then this one is going to be at an oblique angle of 30, this one. And then I can move this around here too if I want to. And I can turn off that. And we'll put it right there, fuel gauge. All right, that should get you started on this here. A lot of these other things here, you can watch some of the other videos that are posted there on Canvas, and I'm going to go through building the rest of this whole support system out. But you can copy, like once you build these little triangles here, these valves, you can copy these across there. These tick marks you can also copy throughout there, but you just want to do your best to keep things lined up and keep things in perspective and to scale. And again, you can copy all of the text that we just created. So I just created this fuel gauge, and copy it here, and copy it here, here, and just change the text. And same idea with our valve and our furnace on the side there. Okay, all right, everyone. That's going to be the end of this video.